Good day, people. It is Monday, July 22nd. I am in Cooperstown, New York still. I hope it's less windy today. Sorry for the quality of the audio in the video yesterday. I don't have much ability to change it, candidly, because I got my computer, and I got a picnic table, and I got this background, and that's about it. All right, so let's talk about something that I think everyone is interested in. Kamala Harris, I think, is going to be the Democratic presidential nominee. She did a very good job of wrapping up support quickly on Sunday. She has the endorsement of more than 150 Democratic members of the House. She has the endorsement of 32 Democratic senators, and she has the endorsement of more than half of Democratic governors. I think the cake is pretty much baked there. So let's move on to who might be her VP. Very interesting pick. So, I think everyone that I see mentioned is sort of a sitting elected official. Most of the people I see mentioned are white men. We can argue about whether she should pick a white guy or not, but that's who's mentioned. So let's go through. I think I've got 5 that are worth probably talking about. These are in no order other than that I wrote them down. Okay, number 1, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. The appeal of Shapiro is pretty obvious because I mentioned where he's from, Pennsylvania. This is a state that Harris is going to have to win, almost certainly to win the presidency. It was true of Biden. It's true of Kamala Harris, too. Her appeal is probably a little bit less in Pennsylvania than Joe Biden's, in that Biden was from there. He had real appeal in Scranton and those places. So picking Shapiro, popular governor in the middle of his first term, 51 years old, definitely seen as the future of the party, would make some sense there. Now, I think there are some people say, well, he's Jewish. Will America vote for a African-American woman as the president and a Jewish guy as the vice president? I mean, hard to say. I don't think that's disqualifying, but, that's certainly something. I think he is really a gifted public servant speaker. If you look at his remarks after Cory Comparatore was killed in Butler, Pennsylvania at the rally where Trump was almost assassinated, really powerful, and I think the kind of thing that people are looking for. So that's Shapiro. Next, Roy Cooper, the outgoing governor of North Carolina. So Cooper is a 2-term governor of North Carolina. He's term limited, so he doesn't have a job after this year anyway. A little bit older, he's 67, but again, he is a guy who has won 2 terms as governor in a state that is not great for Democrats. I know Barack Obama won North Carolina in 2008, but they haven't won since then, presidentially. He's won twice. He was the attorney general for 16 years, 4 terms, before he became governor. So this is a guy with a long, proven track record of winning in a state that is, at best, leaning Republican. Do you put Cooper on the ticket in theory that you can make North Carolina competitive? I don't know at the presidential level if that works. He is popular, but I just don't know if that gets him over the line. Maybe they think it does. Who knows? Maybe they think it helps him the ticket appeal more broadly in places where they need more white men to vote for the ticket. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Virginia. Maybe. So that's Cooper. Andy Beshear. I always screw that up. Steve Beshear was Andy Beshear's dad, who is also the governor of Kentucky, but Andy Beshear is the current governor of Kentucky. Young guy, again, has just got elected to a 2nd term in Kentucky, which is not easy. I think a guy who probably can speak to sort of rural America better than Kamala Harris, and certainly I would argue better than Donald Trump. A guy who is much more moderate than the national party and than Kamala Harris. A guy who is seen as sort of a rising star, probably couldn't win an open Democratic nomination. He's too moderate, but a guy who's seen as a rising star and who people sort of have an eye on. I guess I could see it. I would kind of put him in a lower tier, honestly. After that is Mark Kelly, who is, I think, if I had to pick, probably my favorite, the guy I think she's going to wind up picking, the senator from Arizona. He has been an astronaut. He was an astronaut prior to getting elected to the Senate. He is married to Gabby Giffords, who was obviously a member of Congress from Arizona. She was shot and nearly killed more than a decade ago in a shooting outside of a grocery store where she was doing an event. she and he have become major advocates for gun control in the country. She's become in many ways the face of sort of the gun control movement in the country. He is a little bit more moderate. Um, he's a little older. I think he's 60. So I could see that. To me, that's the one that makes the most sense. Arizona is, I think, a state that they could win. And would be very helpful for the Democratic ticket to win. Kelly is popular in that state. Maybe he helps them a little bit in Nevada as well. I don't think he hurts in Michigan, Wisconsin, or Pennsylvania. So, again, VP picks, you never know. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I do think that that's the one that makes the most sense to me, either he or Shapiro. The last one I want to throw in there, I've just named 4 white guys. Let me name Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan. Now, people always say to me, 2 women on the same ticket, is that too much? I don't know. I mean, I remember people saying, we're never going to elect a guy named Barack Obama president. Well, who's black? Well, we did that. So, look, Whitmer's from Michigan, another must-have state for Democrats. She's popular. She's obviously a woman. It would be a hugely historic ticket. I think she's talented. I think she's sort of able as a candidate. I think it would be a lot of interesting energy on that ticket if Harris picked her. I don't know if she will or not. Now, those are the 5 that I think are out there. You'll hear their names. You'll hear J.B. Pritzker from Illinois. Possible. Gavin Newsom, I don't think possible. They're both from California, and they don't get along that well. So you'll hear other names. But to me, those are the 5. And I think I would say Shapiro and Kelly, and then Cooper, then Beshear, and then Whitmer. I think in that order. One thing I'll say, the VP, generally speaking, doesn't make that big a difference. I know we talked more about it when it was Biden and Trump as the nominees because they're old, and the VP could, in theory, come and serve. Harris is not old. So I don't think it matters that much. I think it's to sort of round out the ticket, make people feel a little bit more comfortable in voting for her. But I don't think it's going to win or lose her a state. I really don't. Even if she picks Roy Cooper, I don't think North Carolina is suddenly going to be a Democratic state. It's more competitive, but I don't think it's suddenly a Democratic state. I think Shapiro helps in Pennsylvania. I think Mark Kelly helps in Arizona. I don't know if they win the state because people tend to vote for the top of the ticket. That's what we've always seen going back, 5 or 6 decades now. All right, that's all I got for today. I am in Cooperstown, New York for a couple more days, so you'll see this background. I'll try to make sure I'm making videos. Thank you, as always, for your support. So the 4 things you can do for me. You can like this video. You can comment on this video. You can subscribe to this channel, which is so easy. Just hit the subscribe button, and you can tell 10 friends about this channel. Take care.